Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to summer school. I've got my sunglasses, I've got my sun cream, I've got my towel ready. The weather doesn't quite match, but you know, the thing I enjoy most about the summer is the warmth and the beautiful weather. And if the weather's not going to be warm and beautiful, well, then the music is absolutely going to be just exactly what we want. So splendid to see so many of you here. And, well, there's been people here for ages. I mean, that's again, typical for the summer. Everyone getting in early to reserve the best spot by the pool. And so... so splendid to see you all. I hope you're having a good day. And, my goodness, so lots and lots of people. Hello to Jane and Eileen and Gillian. I'm just going to check the sound's working. Good. That's a good start. Let me just check the most important thing is, quite apart from me nattering, is can we see and hear from our composers? We've got two special videos to show you, and also can we hear the music? So just bear with me a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Just order up another drink from the bar, maybe chuck another shrimp on the barbie, and we'll just check the intro. So here's just a snip of Leonard's intro. Here we are.
Hello. I'm so glad that you'll be learning and singing.
And here's a bit of Jake.
Hey everybody, it's Jake Runnestead, and I want to talk to you a little.
Don't want to give the game away, but just to check that that's all working. Yes, there's me nattering away, but we don't want to hear from me. Good, we can hear Leonard.
Learning and singing.
And here's a bit of Jake. Great. Oh, that's fabulous. Now, the most important thing is, do the pieces work? So I'm just going to give you a fraction, a teeny tiny little taste at the start of each one to check the sound's working. So here's a little bit of Eleanor's gorgeous Upon Your Heart. Oh my goodness, I'm a puddle already. Such a gorgeous piece. Here's a bit of Leonard's piece. Good. Here's Jake.
I will lift my eyes to the hills.
Oh, again, puddle. And now, my lord of the morning, bit of Harry Burley. And last but not least, a bit of Ola Yellow. Here we go. Wonderful. Okay, and I'm just going to jump on my phone to make sure that those are all working and all at a good level. Good. It's all working. Marvellous. And I can now relax and order up another drink. Mark, are you taking orders? Okay, are you going to grab me something from the floating bar out there in the self-isolation choir pool? Well, I hope everyone is having a lovely day. And yes, it's summer school. It's amazing how quickly it's rolled round again. Those of you that were with us last year, of course, it was the first time we'd done anything like this. We would just finished Messiah. It was very much a case of, well, what next? And so summer school was born from that conversation. And it's great to be back with all of you. And I know we've got many people joining us for the first time this year, so hello to all of you. Of course, this isn't the official start. We're not starting for 5 minutes, but this is my chance to pop up and have a bit of a chat with you. So let me grab grab the chat window. Carol says, Carol is going to cry an awful lot during this. And to be honest, the music for this is absolutely glorious. It is so beautiful. I'm going to be ranting on about how beautiful all 5 of these pieces are throughout the week, so get settled in, folks, because I'm going to be enthusing loudly. But let me have a look now. I've got lots of people popping up, and I'm going to click on my participants list, And this just shows me who's been commenting. Now, if you're not in the comments, it doesn't matter. You're all very, very welcome, and all a huge and essential part of this wonderful, wonderful choir. But those of you who are in the comments, it means I can see you and I can say hello to you. But I do know that we have other people watching. So in particular to Bill and Helen in California. I think Helen has stayed up all night to watch this. So well done, Helen, and go to bed after this, all right? But a very good afternoon to Andrew. Hello to Angela and Barbara and Brenda. Hello, Busy Bee. Hello, Carol and Bumble. Hello, Christine and Malcolm. And Anne's just joined us. Hello, Anne. Hello to Christine and Dave and Jill and Dorothy. Hello to Eileen and Evelyn. Hello to Barbara. Another Barbara's joined us. Hello, Barbara. Hello to Jill and Gillian and Gina. Hello to Helga and to Jackie. Hello to Jan and Jane and Jane and Jane and Jane and Janet. Oh, it's leaping up. More people popping up. Let me catch up with the Janes and the Janets. No, more Janes. Hello, Jane. Hello, Heather. Hello, Fiona and Maury. Great to see you folks. And Amanda. The list is jumping around all over the place. Hello to Jill and Jessica. Jill has stayed up extremely late as well. Goodness me. Hello to Julie and Karen. And the list is now moving far too quickly for me to be able to pop up and say hello to everyone. But hello to, I'm going to go to the other end of the list. Hello to Suze and Suzanne and Susanna. And hello, Mark. Hello to Sue and Stephanie and Sarah and Sandra and Richard and Pam and Den and Pam and Pamela and Pam and Pam and Nikki and Moira. And there's Carla as well. And I'm sure I'm missing people off. Hello to Alison and to Mary and Marion and Margaret and Lucy and Loretta. And, oh, the list's moving too quickly now. I'm doing my best. It's just going to be this for the next hour or so. Great stuff. Hello to... Oh, no, it's all moving too quickly. I'm going to start again. So who's joined us since? Hello to Carolyn and to Liz and to Kitty and Leslie and Linda and Lisa and Lise and Liz and Loretta and Lucy. Fabulous stuff. Thanks so much for coming along, folks. Hello to Mike and to William. I'm just seeing if there's anyone else. There's Richard as well. Fabulous. So a very good afternoon, everyone. There's now far too many names in the list. It's all jumping around. Oh, there's Sheila as well. So a very good afternoon, and just thank you so much for being here. We have some glorious music. Absolutely. Some of the best music that we've learned in Self-Isolation Choir, full stop, bar none, coming up in the next 40 minutes or so, and of course over the next week. So we're going to get started, folks. There's a lot to get through. 5 beautiful pieces. We've got introductions from 3 of the composers, one of which is for me to read out, and 2 of them I'm going to leave to them to say hello in their own words, and 5, as I've just said, of the most beautiful pieces that we've learned here on in this wonderful choir. So I do hope you enjoy yourselves, everyone. Do pull up a chair, get the sunglasses on. It's the summer school, and so it's our opportunity to relax. And I know people have said, because you're talking about the sun, that means it's going to go indoors, but we bring the sun here, everyone. So please do keep chatting throughout our session. It is, of course, an essential part of what makes online singing very special. And do help me as we move from your chat to our split screen. And I'm going to show you the dates and so on of what's going on. So here we go. Ready? Thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. It is my huge pleasure, honour and privilege to officially launch Summer School 2021. Fabulous stuff. And thank you so much for being part of our first week. This, of course, is a course that's going to run throughout the summer. 1 week in May, 1 in June, 1 in July, 1 in August. And this first week is devoted entirely to music from North America. And we are delighted to welcome a number of composers, some of whom you may never have heard of, and to share some of their exquisite music. And so you can see here, hopefully you've all had the ultimate list of everything, which has all of the links on it. Now, if you are missing this, please do email Mark, but the fact that you're here sort of suggests that you've had the link. And we've got these 5 lovely pieces which you're going to be learning throughout the week. This is the launch, but the actual teaching starts tomorrow. And as we can see here, the first rehearsal is tenor rehearsal 1, which is at 11 a.m. tomorrow. This is all UK time, of course. And then the bass is tomorrow afternoon. And then I'll be seeing the sopranos on Tuesday and the altos on Tuesday afternoon, and so on. All right. Now, Friday is going to be a complete sing through of all of these pieces, 3 o'clock. And then you folks are going to record them for us. And we're going to record everything in this summer school. So by the end of the 4-week course, we're going to have an enormous trove of wonderful, wonderful pieces that we'll have learnt and recorded over the space of this lovely summer. So please do make sure you keep that document safe. It's obviously electronic. If anything changes, we'll update it, but that is your entry. That's your key, if you like, your pass to all of the rehearsals. And I want to say before we sing anything today that you are all welcome at every single rehearsal of this summer school. Okay, you don't just because you think, oh, I'm a soprano, I can only come to soprano rehearsals. For those of you that are new to the choir, we welcome everyone to everything. And so if you particularly feel as a soprano that you want to come to the bass rehearsal, we would love to see you. And of course, I love seeing the chat moving throughout the sessions, and so please do have a lovely chat. Now, I'm going to talk to you very, very quickly about these 5 pieces, and then we're going to have a little listen to them and a sing through. So if you could make sure you've got your scores handy. Of course, you're welcome to just listen and let the sound wash over you. But I think it's also a nice opportunity for us to just have a go and see how these different pieces fit within our voices. Something to bear in mind, of course, that, you know, for some pieces you might find sopranos, for example, that you're definitely a first soprano. In others, you might think you're a second soprano, and in others, you might want to sing first alto. Again, that's entirely fine, and we love receiving all of these submissions from you, no matter whether they're high or low. So these 5 pieces that you'll find in front of you in our pack for our first week, as I've said already, they are drawn from composers from the North American continent, not just from the USA, but also from Canada. And we are thrilled to have the first piece in the pack come from Eleanor Daly, and this is a setting of Set Me as a Seal Upon Your Heart, and she's actually written a little intro for us, and I'm going to read it out to you now. And this is hot off the press. This arrived 20 minutes ago, ladies and gentlemen. So she's written this today, and she is saying to all of us, hello all, and thank you so much for singing my Upon Your Heart. I am thrilled and honoured. The Song of Solomon text has long been a favourite of mine, and although I'd written a setting of those words in the late 80s for my church choir, when I was approached by a colleague of my dad's to compose something for his and his wife's 45th wedding anniversary, I turned once again to this timeless scripture passage, and also decided to include some words from the book of John chapter 15. The commissioner and his wife, to whom the piece is dedicated, have 4 daughters, and he asked that there be 1 or 2 opportunities within the piece for them to sing alone when the piece was premiered, hence the solely semi-chorus sections. So that's why in the middle, as you'll hear in just a moment, we have this glorious little section for just sopranos and altos. And I have to say, folks, aside from the fact that I believe, I'm correct if I'm wrong, Mark, but this is the first composer, or the first piece by a female composer that we've featured on SIC. It certainly will not be the last. We have wonderful music by Joe Forbes, The Stranger coming up, and much, much more. But we're absolutely thrilled to be able to feature this glorious piece. And I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, of all the pieces we've listened to, that we'll be listening to, I should say, that we're going to be singing this week, this one has been really wrapped around my brain for the last few weeks, and it has the most beautiful flowing melody, some glorious harmonies. There's little reminiscent touches of those of you who like John Rutter's music. There's some lovely sort of modal touches towards the end, but on the whole, this is just the perfect piece to launch our summer school. So, ladies and gentlemen, why don't we just have a very quick warm-up, just a very, very brief little hum and a roll of our shoulders, and then we will enjoy the wonderful performance of Upon Your Heart. So if I can invite you all to be upstanding, those of you that are able to, and if you're not able to stand up today, then just give yourself a straight back and a long neck. And everyone, a couple of nice deep breaths in and out, just in your own time, in your own way. And use this as an opportunity to get rid of anything that you're stressing about, anything you're worrying about. I mean, it is here in the UK, it's Sunday afternoon. It's a perfect time, hopefully, for everyone to just relax and to start to get into that summer mindset of just long, long, languid evenings, nice drinks out on the patio, time with friends, and that warmth which is at the heart of all of the music we're doing this summer. That's wonderful. Now rolling your shoulders around, please, everyone. And then roll them back the other way. Wonderful. And then up to your ears. Take a deep breath, and as you breathe out, let your shoulders fall. Julie just pointed out that our first female composer is Canadian, and she's not the only Canadian we'll be featuring today. Leonard is also Canadian, and the music is absolutely glorious. Well, let's just roll our head around, please, ladies and gentlemen, nice and gently. Just stretch these muscles out, please, everyone. Oh, lovely. Okay, let's do a bit of very gentle humming, okay? We're in the key of E major for Eleanor's piece, so let's start there. Nice deep breath and humming with me. Here we go. And again. And ooh. Ooh. And now an F for egg, thank you. And or, thank you. Or, and ah, thanks very much. Lovely. Now, basses and altos might want to drop down the octave, and everyone else, we're going to do a couple of ma, ma, ma's after me, please. So, ma, 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 and ya, 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 and one more, yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you very much indeed, everybody. Well done. Now, if I can invite you to make sure, as I've already said, I think, make sure you've got drinks handy. Okay, these pieces are, I think, new to most people. And when you're singing unfamiliar music, I don't know about you, I find my throat dries out a lot faster when I'm singing something I don't know. All right, so have a good drink of water now, please. And let's have a look here at Eleanor's piece. And so it's in that lovely bright key of E major, which I've already said. And it's a lovely, bright, vibrant key is E. It's also very, very warm. And that is perfect for this piece, which is full of beautiful examples of that wonderful thing that composers do, where they write chords that create tension and then release. And the whole piece is built around this sort of idea of a lovely clash and then a very, very gentle, sweet release of that tension. So let's enjoy this. Now, it's performed as 4 of our 5 pieces are this week by the wonderful Fieri Consort, and this marks not quite the anniversary, but the Fieri Consort have been singing with us since the beginning of the last summer school, and over the course of the last year they have performed some astonishing feats of choral ingenuity, and including recording the entire Mendelssohn's Elijah and Mozart's Requiem and more besides. And so we are unbelievably grateful to them for their patience and for their wonderful musicality. And so we'll be talking more and more about them as we go. But thank you very much indeed, Fieri, as always, for your incredible work. In particular, thanks to Hannah, who manages the group, and to Josh, who does all of the mixing and editing of these parts. So we're going to enjoy this. And folks, I do warn you, this is going to get stuck in your head. It's gorgeous. So I'm going to give you the notes. Basses, there's your A, tenors, alto, and soprano. This is Upon Your Heart by Eleanor Daly. Enjoy, everyone. Here we go.
As
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I said at the start, as I was getting everything set up, that piece just turns me into a puddle within the first couple of bars, and I'm sure I'm not alone. That is just sublime, and what a great way to start our summer school. And we'll be learning that one throughout the week. And as you can tell already, just imagine those of you that have been singing with the choir for a while and you know what sort of sound this choir makes when we record and send it in, and it's mixed by our expert engineers. Just imagine how wonderful that's going to sound in a few weeks when it's all recorded and mixed. And just thanks so much to Eleanor for her support, for her lovely message, and such an honour to be performing that gorgeous piece. And I'm looking at your comments, and I think everyone's just writing gorgeous, 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 wonderful puddles already. Wonderful. That's a great place to be. So everyone, we're going to move on and have a look at another piece by another Canadian composer, and this is a very, very different piece, but no less beautiful. And I've been this one for me has been a slow burn. When I first heard it, I really liked it, but the more I've listened and certainly the more I've played along, the more it's just sunk in as a really beautiful, very, very, I think, very simple piece of writing. Of course, that doesn't mean it's easy. Sorry. You know, the conductors are like this. You say, oh, this piece, you know, it looks easy, but it's not. And actually, one of the hardest things to do is to sing something that is relatively simple in terms of the harmonies, and to sing it beautifully. Now, as I've been playing along and listening to this, there's elements of the classical composers, of the Romantics. There's bits of Schubert and Beethoven in here, as well as, you know, a lovely, lovely setting. Now, I don't need to say much more about this because Leonard has very, very kindly recorded us a little video intro for this piece, and so I'm going to hand over to him, to the composer himself, to tell you where this piece came from, and I'll see you in a few minutes. Thanks, Leonard.
Hello. I'm so glad that you'll be learning and singing God Who Keeps Watch. It's a piece from a longer 7-movement work that I wrote some time ago. My name is Leonard Enns. I'm a Canadian composer and conductor. And I'm so thrilled that my piece has been chosen for part of your project. The longer work that this comes from is a piece that I called Psalm Cyclus. It's a cycle of psalms, and a cycle of 7 psalms that I wrote on a commission to celebrate the centennial of the high school that I graduated from. That was some time ago. The celebration itself was in 1990, and I don't think I'll say when I graduated, which would have been several decades before that. The Psalms of David are a wonderful repertoire of literature. I mean, along with Shakespeare, along with many, many wonderful works of literature, the Psalms are right there beside them, in my mind anyway. And of course, there are various translations and so on, and one struggles, or one has to choose and decide, and one changes one's mind. You may have seen that originally I had God, He throughout this thing, and I, as I thought more about these things, I've changed that to God, always referring to God as God, rather than putting a gender on it. That may be comfortable, may not be for some people. The other thing is that one doesn't need to be religious to get a wonderful experience from Messiah, from various of the Mendelssohn things I think that you've been doing, and the same is the case here. For me, this is a wonderful text of comfort, particularly of comfort. As I was writing this piece, I know I can still remember essentially tearing up as I was writing it. I was thinking of my mother, who had died several decades before that already, but still, that that there is comfort, that the sun will not harm you by day and the moon will not strike you by night. That phrase I love, that there's comfort in that sort of thing. The Psalms are full of praise, of course, but also wonderful and powerful texts that speak to us when we feel isolated, when we feel alone, when we feel that the world is counter to what we want to be or we are, and so on. So it seems also particularly fitting that this piece is part of your repertoire right now. I don't know that I want to say much about the piece. I might just mention the piano part at the beginning. To me, is very much a soothing, comforting kind of gesture. And then it expands just a little bit. That sort of thing. And your entry is not on words. Perhaps as a mother comforting a child, it starts with a hum, wordless hum, and then gradually evolves into words. I believe that's all I'll say about the piece. I know this is long enough. So I'm from Canada, and I'd love to know where you are from, and I'd love to hear the final result of this project. Enjoy it, and I hope it's meaningful to you. That would be the dearest hope that I have as a composer, that the notes that I write stop being notes and they start being communication and actually take on a meaning or a place in which you can put your own meaning. But of course, at first we have to learn it and we have to sing it, and then maybe it takes wings from there. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Leonard. And in a moment when we sing this through, just please do call to mind everything that Leonard's just told us about the history of the piece, but also that gentle start that he was just saying, the opening here with that lovely gentle piano, and then the hum that is like a mother humming a wordless hum to comfort a child. So thanks again, Leonard, for letting us sing your beautiful piece with that wonderful introduction, and I think we'll sing it through now, everyone. So here, sung by Fieri Consort with Richard Gowers on piano, is The Wonderful God Who Keeps Watch. Enjoy, everyone. Isn't that just lovely, everyone? Isn't it just so beautiful? And we've heard that glorious, rich, sonorous harmony from Eleanor, who I believe is watching at the moment. So, Eleanor, thank you so much for your beautiful, beautiful music. And Leonard's piece is a contrast, long, flowing lines, and that relative simplicity of line, which is so hard to achieve, but with that lovely section of harmony in the middle. I'm really looking forward to recording this. And Leonard, if you are watching, thanks again for the introduction, and of course we'll be honoured to send you a recording when it's all finished. So everyone, that's the second of the 5 pieces. How's everyone doing? Having a lovely time, I hope. Well, we're moving on now to this incredible piece by Jake Runestad. And if you turn to those of you who have the scores, and I did see someone saying, am I supposed to have a score? Of course, please do look at the ultimate list, and it says at the top, download the score pack. That's where you find your scores. This is on page 16. So right in the middle, and this is like a fanfare, choral fanfare, absolutely sublime, with a lot of these incredibly intense and beautiful clashes of semitones and tones clustered together. And Jake has recorded us a little intro as well. I'll be asking him to speak about it in just a minute. But just to say again, this piece is going to get stuck in your head later. In fact, all of these pieces are going to get stuck in your head because it's so beautifully written for singers. And I think that's what unifies the music for this week, is that they've been written immensely sensitively for singers. Sometimes you come across a piece where the composer was written, has instruments in mind. Those of us who've just recorded Messiah, for example, will be able to agree. But this is just absolutely beautiful. So let's hand over to Jake, who's just going to speak for a minute about the piece, and then we'll sing it through. Thanks, Jake.
Hey everybody, it's Jake Runestad, and I want to talk to you a little bit about my piece, I Will Lift Mine Eyes. This is one of my very oldest choral pieces. I think it's the 3rd choral piece that I ever wrote. So I wrote it back when I was in college, and I actually had started a little choir of my peers, and this was to practice conducting and to try out new music. And so I wrote this piece for them. And I think I was home at my parents' house on winter break and worked on this piece. And I remember it, coming out relatively quickly in the context of composing, which is difficult, but it seemed to just flow out. And I love this idea of finding solace in the natural world, in the beauty of the mountains and the sky, and just feeling the closeness when we're in those places. And so I tried to shape the melodies to match that of a mountainous landscape, and the colors that I use, the harmonic and textural colors, to match that of maybe the blues and purples of the sky and the scenery. And so I thank you so much for doing this piece, and I can't wait to hear what you bring to it. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Jake. A lovely intro, and you'll hear in a minute, ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful harmonies here that Jake's written for us. You're going to love it. Now, I did just see someone in the comments say it's been a bit quiet. I'll see what I can do to boost the sound at this end. So I'll make sure Jake's piece is good and strong. So everyone, if you could turn to page 16 in the score pack, and I'll give you a starting note here, sops and altos. Okay, so it starts there on an F together and then broadens into that lovely chord. And just do note before we sing it through the performance direction with great joy. And that's one of the reasons I love all of these lovely pieces, is that they are all joyous and beautiful. So again, with the wonderful Fieri Consort, a cappella this time, here is I Will Lift Mine Eyes by Jake Runestad. Okay, there's that note again. Here we go.
I will lift mine eyes. From
Well, folks, there's not much you can say after that. Just the most sublime piece. And for somebody who was clearly very, very young at the time, an astonishing piece of writing. And Jake, thank you so much for allowing us to sing your piece. I think at some point on page, somewhere around the bottom of page 21, bar 33 or so, I suspect there's going to be a lot of people who are going to find that entire section just overwhelmingly beautiful and wonderful. And as I said, folks, it's a choral fanfare, isn't it? It's a fanfare to love, and I just absolutely love it. Thank you so much, Jake. Well, everyone, my goodness, very beautiful, very, very intense, and let's just see how you're getting on. For some reason, the comments aren't working on my computer, but I'm going to click this button and hopefully it'll all jump back in. No, yes, beautiful, 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 lovely, lovely, lovely. Oh, crying. That's that's exactly what we wanted, folks. Well, let's take a deep breath, have a quick sip of drink. And lots of people talking about the stunning harmonies. And that's the thing I love about all 5 of the pieces today, is that each of them is beautiful in different way. And Eleanor's piece is just so warm and so full of love. And Leonard's piece is just beautifully simple, like a mother singing to her child. That was such an important insight there. Jake's piece is just iridescent and radiant. And our next piece, ladies and gentlemen, is something completely different again. So this is My Lord, What a Morning. And this is Harry Burleigh's arrangement. And again, we are incredibly delighted because this is the first piece by an African-American composer that we've featured on Self-Isolation Choir. Now, Harry Burleigh is no longer with us. He's been gone for quite some time. He was a musician, singer, and composer who was prominent, very prominent, in fact, in the late 19th, early 20th century. And he was a good friend of Dvorak, that great composer who left us wonderful, wonderful orchestral works, probably most famous of all, his wonderful Ninth Symphony, the so-called New World Symphony, which has that beautiful second movement with that da 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 da. And Harry Burleigh was a great friend of Dvorak and taught Dvorak all of these wonderful spirituals and pieces really from his tradition, which influenced Dvorak's writing. Now, Harry Burleigh himself had an incredible voice, and we are lucky enough to have recordings of Harry Burleigh's singing. His voice is like velvet, ladies and gentlemen. It's just wonderful. And so I would recommend to you, after today's wonderful rehearsal, do have a look and read up on Harry Burleigh and listen to his singing, because he's such an important composer and musician for the 20th century and beyond. Now, this is a setting of a beautiful spiritual, which some of you may have sung before, but not many people have sung this version. And it is, again, beautiful, but in a more traditional way. Harry Burleigh is using traditional, maybe diatonic chords, but so gently, with a wonderful swell in the middle and a beautiful ending. Let's enjoy this. Now, the choir for this one is, well, I can't really sugarcoat it, ladies and gentlemen. This is mostly myself with my wonderful wife Anna singing the top line, and so I've sung the alto, tenor, bass parts, and Anna has sung the top soprano part, because you deserve better than hearing me squeak away at the soprano line. So do please enjoy this. This starts on page 23, and it starts so gently. And if I can ask you to call to mind at the start of this, folks, just imagine the sun rising very slowly on the horizon on a beautiful, beautiful summer's morning, maybe a bit of mist. And that, I think, is what Harry Burleigh had in mind. So let me give you your notes. There's the bass. That's first bass, second tenor, first tenor, and alto. Here we go, everyone. Here's My Lord, What a Morning.
When
Well, there we are, ladies and gents. I'm sure you'll agree, no less beautiful than the other pieces. A lot earlier in terms of its composition and its arrangement, but you can hear the interesting use of harmony and that wonderful section where he goes, where was it, money? Oh, that lovely shift between harmonies. It's just so much fun to sing, and I do hope you enjoy singing it. Second basses, you've probably heard some nice chunky bottom E flats to sing in there, gentlemen. And of course, those of you that have those lower notes, we're going to need you to practice them over the course of the next month, because Russian Week is going to need you to go all the way down there. Okay, bottom B flats, but we'll have more on that later on. And thank you ever so much, everyone. So looking forward to teaching it to you, and I can't wait to hear the Self-Isolation Choir performance, that wall of sound, everyone. Well, we've come to the last piece of today, but of course this is not the end. This is just the beginning, the very, very start of our summer school. Tomorrow I shall be seeing I get it right here, the tenors and then the basses, and then on Tuesday I shall be seeing the sopranos and altos, and then you each get another hour and a half rehearsal. Bear in mind these are longer rehearsals than the hour, just because there's so much to fit in. So just bear in mind you need to set aside around 80 minutes for the morning rehearsal and 90 for the afternoon. Now, of course, if you're busy, and many of us are, then you can watch these as many times as you like. You can come back and watch them again and again and again. But we have a lot of music to get through, and I don't want to rush. You don't want to rush this music, ladies and gents. We want to make sure we get everything just as it should be. And now the last piece is a real treat. This is the beautiful, beautiful The Rose by Ola Järlo. And he is a Norwegian composer, Norwegian American, I should say, who has really taken the world by storm in the last decade or so. His music is absolutely beautiful. And this is a setting of a poem by my favourite poet, by Christina Rossetti. Anna and I had one of her poems at our wedding, a wonderful poem called A Birthday, which if you don't know, I thoroughly commend to you. And this is another beautiful, beautiful poem by her, set to, again, some deceptively simple lines here by Mr. Järlo, but absolutely spellbinding. The combination of minor chords and major chords with particular semitone clashes is just sublime. Now, we're going to sing along with it. It starts on page 27 of our summer school score. And we are really, really excited again to have Fieri Consort and Richard Gowers playing the piano for us. And so do please enjoy this sublime work. And if you've not heard of Ola Järlo, do look his work up. It is all glorious. But I think my favourite of his pieces is this one. Okay, so here we go, folks. And after this, of course, I shall be wishing you a very, very good afternoon and looking forward to seeing you, as many of you would like to join us tomorrow for our first rehearsal, which is 11 a.m. I'll be here a little bit early, you know me, but 11 a.m. we are officially kicking off the learning for summer school, and I can't wait. Here we go, folks. Here is The Rose.
Rose upon her briar is Lady
Isn't that just beautiful, ladies and gentlemen? At the risk of repeating myself, absolutely sublime. And that, folks, is our set of 5 pieces to learn in our first week of summer school. That wonderful, warm, beautiful, beautiful piece by Eleanor, Leonard's song to a little baby, Jake's incredible choral fanfare, Harry Burley's gorgeous setting of that spiritual, and then finally that piece by Ola Yellow, which sounds both ancient and modern and completely timeless. Glorious music, and only here on Self-Isolation Choir. So I'm really looking forward to seeing you starting tomorrow, everyone. And do remember, as I've said many times, but I really, really mean it, please do come, if you can, to as many rehearsals as you like. And the other thing is to say, and forgive me for this, but now you've heard the music, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, it's absolutely sublime. Tell your friends, because there's still time to sign up. All these sessions can be watched as many times as you like. And, I wouldn't want to miss a week as beautiful as this. Of course, we have much, much more to talk about. At the end of this week, I'll be giving you a little preview of the second week of the summer school, which is with the amazing choir Tenebrae, with Nigel Short will be teaching us Russian, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be leading the singing, and at the end of it, we're going to have some incredible pieces by Rachmaninoff and more, but more on that later this week. In the meantime, everyone, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thanks so much for being with us today, and don't forget, if you're going to the beach, take a towel, and don't forget your sun cream. But in the meantime, folks, the summer is here. And so I look forward to seeing you soon. All the best, folks. Bye-bye.